Part 8. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 71. Correct. Yantai couldn't help but ask. Suzuki-u, have you seen Fang yet? Fang Ye was the winner of the highest mission evaluation in the number 2 Forbidden Area last time. Moreover, he unexpectedly received the talent of fire. He has a bright future. He has been cultivated as a strong seed by the senior officials of Wushan Academy. Yantai himself has also. I don't want anything to go wrong with Fang Ye. Has Fang Ye come out yet? Suzuki smiled gently. There was no worry at all on her pretty face. She said with certainty, that should be behind me. As soon as he finished speaking, a new figure appeared at the exit of the forbidden area. It was Fang Ye. Moreover, the exit of the forbidden area behind Fang Ye also emitted a dazzling golden light. It was very dazzling. Another top mission evaluation. Silence. The entire rest area was silent. All the teachers stared with wide eyes and looked horrified. The same was true for the students. A mere trash Martial Saint Academy, Pheasant University, actually got 2 highest task evaluations in a row. This is simply miracle. When did the rubbish Martial Saint Academy become so powerful? Fang Ye. Yan. Tai was overjoyed and patted Fang Ye on the shoulder very excitedly. He wanted to say something, but he didn't know what to say. He could only say excitedly, just come back. Compared to Yan Tai's excitement. At this moment, Wang Liang's pupils were dilating, and there was a look of panic on his face that could not be concealed. Fang Ye and Suzuki both came back safely. What does this mean? Wang Liang knows very well. What happened? Why are these 2 students alive and getting the highest task evaluation, but what about Zhao Fuxian and the others? Thinking of a certain possibility, Wang Liang's heart instantly sank to the bottom of his heart, and he even began to tremble uncontrollably. His eyes were fixed on the exit of the forbidden area. Expect miracles to happen. Let Zhao Fuxian and the others come back one after another at the last moment. Even if only half of them come back. But the ruthless reality was like a slap in the face, severely waking up Wang Liang. The entrance to the forbidden area number 3 began to slowly close. This shows that no one can come out anymore. Even if the person is still alive, he will be wiped out. In other words, Zhao Fuxian and the others. Certain death. This is impossible. This is impossible. Wang Liang's face was ashen and he looked horrified. It wasn't that he cared about his students. It was that he was afraid that he would be punished. Now, 6 students with great potential died at once, especially 2 of them. Or the inheritor of S-class hero talent. Wang Liang can imagine how much anger he will bear when he returns to school. The family power behind those students alone will probably bring him huge trouble. I really didn't expect that Wushan Academy would give out 2 golden mission evaluations. This is the highest mission evaluation. It seems that last time in the forbidden area number 2, these 2 students also received high evaluations, especially the young man, who also received the highest evaluation last time, and I heard that he also received the flame talent. These 2 students are really amazing. As long as nothing happens to these 2 students, Wushan Academy is likely to rise. In next year's assessment, the school's ranking will definitely rise a lot. Yes. The biggest winner this time is Wushan Academy. Compared to Wushan Academy is a bit miserable this time. We don't care about all the yellow comments. I'm afraid Wushan Academy won't be able to accept it. They still have students who haven't come back yet. It seems that the students from Wushan Academy are not all here, right? Haha, I'm afraid you don't know who the students from Wushan Academy died this time, right? Let me tell you, among them are 2 S-class hero talent successors. His. Real or fake? S-class hero talents, every time you lose one, it's a big deal. Didn't you see that the instructor of the martial arts academy had an unusual look on his face? After such a big incident, it's strange that his face looks normal. The teachers were all discussing in low voices. The eyes they looked at Wang Liang were also full of sympathy. It is almost foreseeable that Wang Liang will be in bad luck when he goes back. The students of Martial God College were also discussing quietly. I really didn't expect that Zhao Fuxian, Lu Feng, and the others had an accident and didn't come back. 2 S-level hero talents died at once. This was a big event for Wushan Academy. I feel like my mentor will definitely be in bad luck after he returns. Only now do I know that the newspaper I saw in the forbidden area should be talking about these two people from Wushan Academy, right? It must be them, otherwise it wouldn't be the highest rating. These two people are so powerful that they turned a country into a world of zombies. So fierce, why do you feel like they are the real geniuses? Do you think the deaths of Zhao Fuxian and others were related to these two people? Damn it! This is indeed a possibility. Didn't Zhao Fuxian and the others accept the mission of killing zombies? That shouldn't be the case, right? Can these two people defeat Zhao Fuxian and Lu Feng? No matter how you say it, this result is too unexpected. This is the first time that Wushan Academy has lost to someone else. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 72. Actually, Wang Liang is also a master. A character who has experienced many forbidden places and survived successfully. The average of his 4 basic attributes is almost over 100, he is powerful, and his 6 senses are sensitive. If not for that, what qualifications does he have? Go to Martial Arts Academy to be a tutor? So, although the surrounding discussions were quiet, they could not escape Wang Liang's ears. Wang Liang was furious when he heard those comments. In addition, he also knew that the matter was serious. If he did nothing, he would definitely not be able to afford it when he went back this time. Thinking of this, Wang Liang suddenly rushed to Fang Ye and asked loudly. Fang Ye? Is your name Fang Ye? Let me ask you, were some of my students killed by you? Everyone was stunned. No one expected that Wang Liang would do something like this. Although the state explicitly prohibits private fights of life and death among students. But in the forbidden area, who can control so many people? Deaths are common in the forbidden area. Sometimes when 2 students have conflicting tasks, they will kill each other. This is not uncommon. Everyone has turned a blind eye to this. If such a thing really happened, those who were killed could only blame themselves for not being as skilled as others and thinking that they were unlucky. There had never been a mentor like Wang Liang. If his student had an accident, he would blame the students from other colleges. Wang Liang's move was a bit like a shrew, using his power to bully others. No grace at all. Then, when everyone thought about it carefully, they understood why Wang Liang did this. This guy probably knew that it would be difficult to do business when he went back, so he wanted to shirk responsibility and deliberately shifted the blame to others. He had really vicious intentions. Some smart people thought of this and looked at Wang Liang with some disdain and disgust. Wang Liang, you don't want to slander anyone. Before Fang Ye could say anything, Yan Tai took the initiative to stand up and said coldly, you framed my students, just wait until you go to the extraordinary court. I will definitely sue you. As Fang Ye's mentor, Yan Tai must stand up at this time, otherwise where will his face be? Moreover, Yan Tai has a protective character. He can be strict with students in normal times. But it is absolutely not allowed. Someone slandered his student. Wang Liang turned a blind eye to Yan Tai's threats. Just sue. Even if he loses the lawsuit, he will just apologize. Compared to the current predicament, what is this punishment? Wang Liang's eyes, staring at Fang Ye. I heard that you have the power of fire, and you got the highest mission reward last time. Your strength is extraordinary, you are the only one who has the strength to pose a threat to my students. This is an attempt to pour dirty water on Fang Ye. This teacher, you can eat shit, but you can't talk nonsense. Fang Ye said calmly, I don't even remember what your student looks like. What evidence do you have that I killed your student? Moreover, in the Forbidden Area number 3, the most powerful ones are zombies. The only killers who can kill your students are zombies. Before throwing dirty water, use your brain first. Do your family members know that you are so mentally retarded? Of course Fang Ye will not admit this matter. In any case, the country prohibits students from killing each other. Even in the Forbidden Area, the party at fault is Zhao Fuxian and others, and Fang Ye is forced to fight back. That can't be admitted. In this world, it doesn't mean that you can be just if you are reasonable. The emergence of Zhao Fan's power will make all justice in this world have to give in to the powerful. If Fang Ye tells the truth about what happened in the Forbidden Area, do you believe that there will be strong power to deal with him soon? At that time, it will be difficult for Wuxian Academy to protect him. Because, through Suzuki-u, Fang Ye knew that 3 of the students who were bitten to death by Old Master Ren individuals have a very big background. For example, Zhao Fuxian is a direct descendant of the Zhao family in the capital. Just being a member of the Zhao family can bring endless trouble to Fang Ye. If Fang Ye is given 3 years to grow up, he will not afraid of trouble. By then he will be invincible. Even if he admits it openly, it will be nothing. No one can do anything to him. This is the privilege of the strong. But now, Fang Ye has no bad brain and will not admit this thing. Puff. Fang Ye's words made many people laugh. Especially the sentence "you can eat shit, but you can't talk nonsense" made many people laugh out loud. Wang Liang's face turned into pig liver with anger. Sexy. He snorted coldly and said, anyway, you are suspicious, I will apply for a hypnotist to investigate this matter. Throwing these words, Wang Liang took his students and left here quickly. Then, everyone also left. Almost every teacher would take a deep look at Fang Ye and Suzuki before leaving. If not, Yan Tai was on guard, and I'm afraid these teachers were eager to come and rob someone. This farce ended here. On the bus back. The carriage was very lively, and many students were talking about it. In fact, many students were very satisfied with the results of this trip to the Forbidden Area. The yellow rating is indeed poor. But most of the people in Wuxian Academy are ordinary people without talent. In the last Forbidden Area, there are still many people who received gray evaluations. Being able to safely get a yellow rating already makes them very satisfied. Only Fang Ye was frowning. Wang Liang's last words made him a little uneasy. Apply for a hypnotist survey? In a world with extraordinary power, Fang Ye believed that the hypnotist Wang Liang talked about was definitely not the tricks that tricked people in the previous life on Earth. He was afraid that this so-called hypnotist was really capable and could make him say truth. Even his secrets were exposed. A few hours later, the bus arrives at the school. As soon as they got off the bus, Yan Tai called out to Fang Ye and Suzuki-u. You two, follow me to the office. Fang Ye knew that Yan Tai had something to say. He and Suzuki-u looked at each other and saw firmness in each other's eyes. In fact, before returning, Fang Ye had considered the situation and discussed it with Suzuki-u in advance. The confession has been prepared. That is, if you refuse to admit it. After all, it will bring trouble to yourself. There is no need to show off your courage. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 73. In the office. Yan Tai politely poured water for the two of them. Come, two great heroes, drink some water. It can be seen that Yan Tai is in a good mood. He can't hold back the smile on his face. Congratulations to both of you for getting another excellent result. The principal has heard about this and is having a meeting to study it. He plans to give you some rewards. I hope you can continue to work hard and create greater glories. Yan Tai said with a smile. Seeing that Fang Ye did not show a happy look, Yan Tai asked Fang Ye, "Are you worried about what the instructor of Martial Arts Academy said before leaving?" It was something he wanted to apply for a hypnotist to investigate. Fang Ye said calmly, "I'm afraid, but I'm not afraid. My body is not afraid of slanting shadows. However, I'm curious, what's going on with this hypnotist's investigation? Teacher, can you tell me?" "Oh, hypnotists are actually people who have acquired spiritual talents. Yan Tai told a secret. Our country actually controls many forbidden areas that are not open to the public. There is one forbidden area. It is said that it is easy to acquire the natural ability in hypnosis, and has always been used by the country as a base for cultivating special talents." Fang Ye was shocked. "So, those hypnotists really have the ability to hypnotize?" "That's right." Yan Tai nodded, glanced at Fang Ye, and said with a smile, "Don't worry, that Wang Liang is trying to scare you. Although the state controls many hypnotists, you can't just apply if you want. Even if he really has that connection, it's against the rules to do this. The school can help you block it, so don't pay attention." Hearing this, Fang Ye remained calm on his face, but he breathed a heavy sigh of relief in his heart. Yan Tai reminded again, however, "He insists on pouring dirty water on you, which is also a trouble. Maybe on the surface, no one will pay attention to him, but secretly, it is difficult to predict what the families behind those students think. In any case, as long as you stay in school, no one will dare to touch you." "Okay, I understand, thank you teacher," Fang Ye said. Suzuki also said, "Thank you, teacher, for taking such good care of us." "What kind of care is this?" Yan Tai waved his hand and suddenly asked Fang Ye, "Suzuki, those students from Wushan Academy, won't they really be destroyed by you?" "Teacher, I don't understand what you are talking about." Fang Ye said calmly, "I have never seen them in the forbidden area. If you don't believe me, ask Zikiu." Suzuki quickly followed yes. Yan Tai glanced at the two of them meaningfully, suddenly laughed and said, "Okay, that's it. Fang Ye and Suzuki, you two remember, no matter who asks you in the future, you will always say this, and leave the rest to the teacher." Only then did the two of them realize that Yan Tai was not just saying something, but was specifically reminding them because he was afraid that they would not be honest. Fang Ye frowned. "Teacher, what do you mean by this? Will someone come to examine us?" "It's not a review, just a question." Yan Tai nodded and said, "But it's not because of those dead students. It's because of the highest task evaluation you got. In fact, Fang Ye, last time you got the highest task evaluation in the Forbidden Area number 2, you already alarmed many people above. At that time, some people wanted to ask questions, but they were suppressed by the school. This time, you have received a golden mission evaluation again. The superiors must send someone to ask you what is your strategy for achieving this. Of course, if you don't want to say it, you can refuse." Having said this, Yan Tai thought for a while and said, "However, the teacher still hopes that you can make the strategy public. This is a good thing that benefits society. In addition, the country will not let your efforts go in vain and will give you rewards." Hearing this, Fang Ye knew that this Lao Yan was still an idealist and had the motherland at heart. Fang Ye didn't care at all about the strategy for Forbidden Area number 3. Because this strategy can be easily figured out by smart people. Didn't Zhao Fuxian and those guys think of it? Moreover, if you want to play Fang Ye's strategy well, you must have enough strength, at least be able to suppress the zombies. In the number 3 Forbidden Area, there were people with such strength, very few. Most people can't play it at all. To put it simply, it's the trick Fang Ye played in Forbidden Land number 3. It's not suitable for everyone. As for the strategy for Forbidden Land number 2, Fang Ye doesn't want to tell others. You can say that Fang Ye is selfish. Fang Ye also admits that he is selfish. Knowing the plot is Fang Ye's unique advantage. He doesn't want to take advantage of others. Fang Ye thought for a while and said, "Teacher, I don't like to be questioned. Can the school help me?" Yan Tai was stunned and asked, "Fang Ye, don't you want your strategy to be made public?" Fang Ye shook his head and said, "I just don't want to be questioned. Regarding the strategy, I can tell you, teacher." "Then, can I ask you, teacher, to help me?" Hearing this, Yan Tai didn't know. "No matter what you say, I have no choice but to agree." "Okay, if there is any reward from above, the teacher will give it to you as soon as possible." Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mung Garden. Chapter 74. Regarding Forbidden Land number 3, my strategy is actually very simple. Just control a zombie, let it bite people, turn others into zombies, and then kill them, and you can get unlimited mission evaluations. Yan Tai was a little surprised when he heard the strategy mentioned by Fang Ye. "Your strategy? Teacher, are you trying to say that this guide is inhumane?" Fang Ye said with a smile, "Don't worry, teacher, the people I killed by zombies were all evil people who deserved their punishment." Yan Tai felt better after hearing this. "So how many zombies did you kill to get the golden mission rating?" Yan Tai asked. Fang Ye said truthfully, "More than 200,000. "What?" Yan Tai looked horrified. "More than 200,000. Not just a dozen. This means that hundreds of thousands of people were turned into zombies by Fang Ye and then killed again. How terrifying." "Teacher, I also killed more than 200,000 zombies," Suzuki added. Yan Tai. Looking at these two students, Yan Tai didn't know how to evaluate them. Zombies are dangerous and not weak at all. "How do you control them?" Yan Tai asked. "Teacher, have you forgotten that I have the talent for fire?" Fang Ye said with a smile, "Zombies are afraid of fire. Through this weakness, I controlled the old man Ren, who had just transformed into a zombie, and directly removed its hands and feet, so that it could only be driven by me. The same goes for other zombies. Before they transform into corpses, I cut off their hands and feet. It's much easier to kill them. In addition, zombies will evolve if they drink too much blood. In order to prevent situations beyond my control, I will not use each zombie for too long and kill them before they evolve." Fang Ye said. He didn't tell the truth. The real situation is of course not as careful as what he said. In the forbidden area, he used violence to control the zombies. From what you said, it is still very dangerous. It is not easy for you to be able to do this. Yan Tai sighed. Fang Ye nodded and said, "That's right, so Suzuki and I worked together in the forbidden area for a month. After all, a person's energy is limited. With only one person, eating, drinking, urinating, and sleeping are all problems. If someone wants to use this strategy of mine, it's best to find a few partners." Yan Tai nodded and looked at the two of them. "I said you two have the highest mission evaluation, so that's it? From the beginning to the end?" Suzuki didn't speak. When it comes to lying, it's best if one person tells it, and it's easy for two people to tell the truth. Yan Tai suddenly remembered something. At the exit of number 3 forbidden area, he heard a lot of people talking. The students of Wushan College said that the few students who did not come back chose the task of killing zombies. Maybe those people also used Fang Ye's plan. After all, this plan is quite feasible. Once it can be successfully implemented, it is indeed easy to get a high mission evaluation. Moreover, This plan is not complicated and can be easily thought of. So, could it be that those people from Wushan Academy were really killed by Fang Ye? In fact, both sides have the same goal. It is easier for conflicts to arise. Thinking of this, Yan Tai glanced at Fang Ye and Suzuki calmly, feeling that his two students were really not simple. Fang Ye, what's the mission guide for Forbidden Land number 2? Care to talk about it? Yan Tai asked. When Fang Ye heard the words, he opened his mouth to lie. At that time, I was being chased by lickers in Forbidden Area 2, and I used obstacles to escape. I kept running, and I didn't even know how the lickers behind me disappeared. I didn't stop until I couldn't hold on anymore. Then, on the street next to me, I found a military vehicle, and in the military vehicle, I found a map to the military base. Later, I got a lot of weapons and ammunition in the military base, and started killing zombies. Before time travel, Fang Ye especially loved reading novels. After reading a lot, I naturally became more comfortable making up stories. What he said was completely flawless. If Yan Tai asked him, where is the military vehicle with the map? Fang Ye said that he was only focused on escaping at that time and did not know. It's getting late, you two go to the cafeteria to eat. Yan Tai warned, stay in school recently and don't run around. Just now, even he was speculating whether those students from Wushan College would really die in Fang Ye's hands, let alone someone else. Yan Tai can be sure that when the matter spreads, the families behind those students will, Fang Ye and Suzuki will definitely be listed as suspect targets. Maybe they can't know what Fang Ye is like, so they can still use dirty tricks secretly. For example, direct assassination. Suzuki is fine. Yan Tai knows that the Su family is also a big family. Can make people fearful. Fang Ye is more dangerous. The school has already investigated Fang Ye's information. After all, he is the school's key training target. And Fang Ye's background is very simple, he is a civilian with a clean slate. There is no power at all. If those people want to vent their anger, their first choice target must be Fang Ye. Then teacher, let's go. The next day, when word spread about the Forbidden Area number 3, Fang Ye and Suzuki became popular. Their names are not only circulated in major universities. Even countless netizens on the internet are discussing them. The most obvious change is that when Fang Ye walks in school, he is often stared at by other students. No matter where he is the focus. In the eyes that looked at him, there was jealousy, disdain, and amazement, and most of all, envy. Fortunately, Fang Ye had already applied to Yan Tai to live in a single room, and the school had already approved it, so that he wouldn't have to face his roommates. Fang Ye didn't care about how others saw him. He still insists on exercising every day, silently accumulating strength. Name, Fang Ye. Race, human. Physique, 522. Spirit, 309. Strength, 521. Agility, 503. Bloodline, Saitama. Physique, awakened. Super talent, flame. This is Fang Ye's current attribute. In the Forbidden Area number 3, he also took the time to exercise several times and improved some attributes. Another day passed. Suzuki was reading in the library when he suddenly received a call. When she saw the caller ID, she frowned slightly, then thought about it and answered the call. Hello, Mom. Dimensional chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mung Garden. Chapter 75. Hello, Mom. On the phone, a mature female voice came. Zichu, are you in school? Exist. Okay, I'll be at the gate of your school. After saying that, he hung up the phone. It can be seen from this that this mother's attitude towards Suzuki. There was no intention to discuss at all. She directly said that she was at the school gate and asked Suzuki to come out. Strong. Domineering. Absolutely, there was no room for Suzuki to refuse. Listening to the busy signal on the phone, Suzuki frowned, then sighed, put down the book, and left the library silently. No matter what, that person was her mother after all. Since everyone when he came to school, Suzuki had to go see him once. As soon as he walked out of the library, a sunny and handsome boy suddenly walked up to him, holding a bouquet of flowers in his hand, and walked up to Suzuki affectionately. Suzuki, I like you. There are many cheering students nearby, who are cheering loudly. Promise him. Promise him. Promise him. To be honest, Suzuki was a little confused by this sudden scene. After she reacted, she immediately showed a faint smile. Although she was smiling, the look on her pretty face was repulsive. Sorry, senior, we are not suitable. Throwing these words, Suzuki turned around and left without even looking at the young man. The handsome boy stayed there in shock, his face turning green and red, and he was so embarrassed that he couldn't get off the stage. In fact, Suzuki made a similar confession. I have met them many times, but this time the boy is more bold. Of course, no matter who comes to confess to Suzuki, the result will be the same, being hit. Because Suzuki's heart has long belonged to one person. What just happened? The incident was quickly forgotten by Suzuki. A few minutes later, Suzuki arrived at the school gate and saw a luxury car parked there quietly. Seeing Suzuki appear, the driver quickly opened the back seat door. In the back seat of the car, there was a middle-aged lady sitting. When she saw Suzuki, she did not get out of the car. She just waved to Suzuki and motioned for Suzuki to get in the car. Suzuki walked over, but did not get in the car. She just stood by the door and asked, "Mom, why are you here?" Seeing that Suzuki disobeyed her and did not get in the car, the lady frowned slightly, and then smiled again. "Come here to see you, get in the car, and have a meal with me at noon." Hearing this, Suzuki had no choice but to get in the car. It was impossible for her to refuse even a meal. It would be too disrespectful. After Suzuki got in the car, Li Yufan said to the driver calmly, "Drive." "Madam, where are we going?" "Go to a cleaner hotel." The car started. Half an hour later, Suzuki and Li Yufan were already in a high-end hotel. One by one, exquisite lunches were served on the table. Neither mother and daughter had any intention of looking at the dishes. They don't even seem to have any appetite. "Zikiu, I haven't come to see you since the beginning of the school year. Do you think you blame me?" Li Yufan asked with a smile. These words made Suzuki a little uncomfortable. Because her mother had never been so polite to her since she could remember. All along, her mother had only other people in her heart, and there was no place for her at all. Suzuki knew that, the mother's change must be due to her 2 trips to the forbidden area and her good results. Especially in the forbidden area number 3, with the help of Fang Ye, she got the highest task evaluation. Even on the internet, this matter there are countless people discussing it on the internet. It's impossible not to know at home. "Mom, you must be looking for me for something, right?" Zikiu didn't want to be hypocritical anymore and asked directly, "If you have anything to say, just tell me." Li Yufan's face showed a hint of displeasure. "What? It's okay, so I can't come and see you." She is used to being domineering at home, and this anger is quite powerful. Suzuki's pretty face was calm. "Of course, but this is not like your style of conduct." Of course Li Yufan couldn't fail to hear the meaning behind these words. Her daughter was talking about her, and she usually ignored her, but now she came to flatter her, and she obviously had other motives. Li Yufan was very angry, and stared at Suzuki with an angry look on her face. Suzuki still looked calm. After a moment, Li Yufan suddenly laughed. "Okay, I have grown up, and I know how to talk back to my mother. No, I'm just telling a fact. Li Yufan nodded and did not refute her daughter. She also knew that she had given all her preference to another child and was indeed harsh and uncaring towards Suzuki-u, so that the daughter in front of her was full of resentment towards her. However, even if she had to do it all over again, Li Yufan would still choose to do this. A daughter is a daughter. How can she compare with the direct male members of the family? Mom is looking for you, something is indeed wrong. Li Yufan calmed down and said slowly, everyone at home already knows about your performance in school this time. Your uncles all praise you for your achievements, and the old man is also very happy. After hearing this, Suzuki's face remained calm, and she did not show any proud expression. Having grown up in that kind of environment, she is much more mature than her peers in this regard, and will not let others praise her. Can't find the north. Even the Wang family has heard about you. Li Yufan suddenly smiled and said, Uncle Wang, do you still remember, he wants to marry into our family, and your father has already agreed to this. Hearing this, Suzuki's pretty face finally stopped being calm. Your Uncle Wang's son, Wang Chao, is 22 years old this year and a junior at Wushan College. He is also a very talented person and his future is unlimited. Li Yufan continued, I have his number here. Please note it down later and follow him when you have time. I disagree. Suzuki spoke directly, interrupting Li Yufan's words. Li Yufan was startled, and the smile on her face slowly disappeared. Before she could say anything, Suzuki said again, because I already have a boyfriend. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 76. Have a boyfriend? Li Yufan frowned and asked, is he your classmate? Seeing Suzuki nodding, Li Yufan said, what can your classmates do? It's not that Li Yufan said something unpleasant. It's that Wushan Academy is a pheasant university in the first place. The people who go there are ordinary people who can't fit in with the heroes. They are indeed worthless. Suzuki didn't want to refute, and said calmly, even if there is no future, it is still my choice. Of what did you choose? Li Yufan sneered, and then said sternly, don't forget, your surname is Su. No one will allow you to be so willful in this matter. Suzuki looked at her mother quietly and suddenly laughed. Mom, when I got perfect marks in liberal arts, I could have gone to a better university and studied other majors. Do you know why I chose Wushan College? Because I know that no matter how outstanding I am in other fields, I will never be able to escape the control of people like you. But Martial Saint Academy can, it can bring me strength, the power to control my own destiny. After hearing these words, Li Yufan looked at Suzuki blankly. It was as if she was meeting her daughter for the first time. Then, a look of anger appeared on her face again, and she coldly snorted, do you think that with your current achievements, will it set you free? One day it will be possible. And I believe that this day will not be long. Suzuki's pretty face showed a trace of inexplicable joy. This was the first time she resisted her mother. Fight for her own destiny. Say no to her powerful parents. Don't tell me, this feeling makes her very intoxicated. She tasted freedom for the first time. Childish, Li Yufan snorted coldly and said disdainfully, do you really think that entering the forbidden area is just playing house? After getting the results twice, I don't know what I believe anymore. The danger in the forbidden area behind is beyond your imagination. Suzuki said firmly, even if I die in the forbidden area one day, it will be my choice. I will never regret it, at this point. Suzuki seemed to have lost his patience. He stood up and said, Mom, I have classes in the afternoon, so I'll leave first. Throwing these words, Suzuki ignored her mother's cannibalistic gaze and turned to leave. Now that her mother has used her as a tool for marriage, of course she will not be as submissive as before. Suzuki has heard of Wang Chao of the Wang family. He was just a playboy. Although he was lucky enough to meet the talent of an A-level hero and was admitted to the Martial God Academy. However, he still behaved like a pustule in school. I heard that starting from his sophomore year, he stopped participating in all forbidden areas. Now he hasn't been expelled from the school yet, and it's entirely because of the Wang family's network. For such a person, Li Yufan even unconscionably said that he has a bright future. Leave the hotel. Suzuki took a taxi back to school. She is not afraid that her family will directly cut off her living expenses. Just yesterday, the school had completely exempted her from all future tuition and fees, and she can still get scholarships every year. If the money is really not enough, she can still go to work. Suzuki feels like a bird that has just escaped from trouble and is about to spread its wings and fly. After getting out of the taxi and returning to school, Suzuki had a smile on her pretty face. What she didn't know was, on the street opposite the school gate, there was a pair of eyes staring at her back. In the hotel restaurant, the exquisite dishes in front of Li Yufan were untouched. She was almost fed up. No one has dared to disobey her like this. After Suzuki left, Li Yufan sat there for a while, then left the restaurant and returned to her car. The driver asked, "Madam, where are you going?" "Go back." Li Yufan replied dully, and then suddenly said, "Old Li, please arrange a few reliable people to find out which boy Zikyu is closer to in school." The driver said calmly, "I understand, madam." The next day, morning, Fangya and Suzuki, who were in class, were invited to Yan Tai's office again. Yan Tai was polite at first and poured a glass of water for the two of them. Then he took out two cards and handed them to them respectively. "Teacher, what is this?" Suzuki didn't understand what it meant. Yan Tai smiled and said, "Don't think too much. This time, you performed well in the number 3 forbidden area and brought glory to the school. This is a little reward from the school. It's not much money. Take it." Hearing this, Fang Ya accepted it nonchalantly. He now had a small million on hand, so he was not short of money at all. Suzuki happily accepted it. "Thank you, teacher." She is just about to become independent, and she plans not to spend a penny from her family again. Otherwise, after pretending to be cool with her mother, she turns around and has to ask for living expenses from her family. How embarrassing would that be? Just last night, Suzuki was already preparing to do part-time jobs. This money solved her urgent need. After both of them accepted the cards, Yan Tai smiled again and said, "It's been more than 2 months since you entered school, next month. On the day of the joint entrance examination for hundreds of schools, as for the school, I hope you too can participate on behalf of the school. The rewards for this joint entrance examination of 100 schools are very rich. It would be a pity to miss it," etc. Fang Ye suddenly spoke and asked with a confused look on his face, "What is the 100 schools joint entrance examination?" As soon as he finished speaking, Yan Tai and Suzuki both looked at him with strange expressions. "Fang Ye, you don't even know about such a big thing as the 100 schools joint entrance examination, right?" Yan Tai asked with a surprised look on his face. "Don't you usually use your mobile phone to surf the internet?" "Well," Fang Ye said truthfully, "recently, there have been a lot of strange calls coming in every day on my mobile phone. I just turned it off without knowing anything about it." After hearing this, Suzuki realized why Fang Ye, this guy, has been so busy these days. And never took the initiative to contact her. It turned out that she was tired of being harassed, so she just turned off her phone. Thinking of this, Suzuki's originally resentful mood suddenly felt much better. That's what dog licking is. Take the initiative to make excuses for the people you like. She also didn't think about it. If Fang Ye really wanted to contact Suzuki, he could easily find her even if they were in the same school without using a mobile phone. When Yan Tai heard Fang Ye's words, his heart suddenly jumped. He knew that there were probably many harassing phone calls from other schools, right? Good to shut down. Thinking of this, Yan Tai immediately said with a smile, "It doesn't matter if you don't know, let me introduce you to the 100 Schools Joint Entrance Examination first." The 100 Schools Joint Entrance Examination, also known as the National Freshman Competition, is held every year. It mainly tests the freshmen's gains in the two forbidden areas. All schools that are eligible to participate in the forbidden area must send new students to participate. Dimensional chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 77. Each school has to send 7 freshmen to represent the school in the competition. 5 are main players and 2 are substitutes. Through Yan Tai's explanation, Fang Ye finally understood what was going on. Actually, it's a national competition for freshmen. The country uses this method to test the freshmen's gains in the past 2 months, and at the same time encourages the freshmen to work harder to enter the forbidden areas. After Yan Tai finished talking about the rules of the competition, he added, "In this competition, the rewards are very rich. The top 10 can all participate once in a forbidden area that is not open to the public. The championship group is even more powerful. In addition to the quota to participate in the forbidden area, everyone can also receive a generous bonus, and a super soldier serum is also awarded. Super soldier serum is a good thing. It is said that injection of super soldier serum can instantly turn an ordinary person into a strong person. The rewards in previous years were not so generous." Yan Tai sighed, and then said, "In previous competitions, our Wushan Academy was always at the bottom, but this year is different. This year we have you too." Speaking of this, Yan Tai looked at the two of them with burning eyes and said seriously, "Although the starting point of you two is not as good as that of those who have the talent of a hero, the results of your 2 trips to the Forbidden Land are better than those of others. The best of the freshmen. In terms of overall strength, you two are not necessarily weaker than those geniuses. The principal has already said that if you two can represent the school and reach the top 10, I will give you an extra bonus as a reward." Obviously. Although Yan Tai has confidence in Fang Ye and Suzuki, he doesn't expect that they can lead the freshmen and win the top 3. After all, Fang Ye and Suzuki are the only ones who can do it in Wushan Academy. After listening to what Yan Tai said, Fang Ye's heart moved slightly. Is there a super soldier serum among the championship rewards? Fang Ye certainly knows a lot about the super soldier serum. That's an artifact from the Marvel world, and it's what the US team relies on to counterattack. However, Fang Ye doesn't like it. If he just works out for a few days, his increased attributes may be as effective as the super soldier serum. On the contrary, what Fang Ye values more is the rewards for the top 10. As long as you reach the top 10, you can participate in a forbidden area that is not open to the public. Since it is not open to the public, it means that there must be good things in this forbidden area. Fang Ye and Suzuki looked at each other and saw the same meaning in each other's eyes. Since it is a matter of bringing glory to the school, of course I am willing to contribute, Fang Ye said with a smile. Suzuki also followed, I think the same as Fang Ye. Seeing the two people agreeing simply, Yan Tai immediately became happy. Good. Yan Tai laughed and said, "This time with you two in our Wushan Academy, we will definitely not be at the bottom again." Hearing this, Fang Ye was a little speechless. Does Lao Yan have expectations in his heart that he is not at the bottom? So unsure of his own students. So the encouragement just now was all deception? Yan Tai said again, "Yes, now, I have to choose some teammates for you. Do you have any suggestions? If you have any recommendations, please submit them." Fang Ye waved his hand and said, "I don't care. I will follow the school's arrangements. It doesn't matter. Because Fang Ye usually doesn't like to play with those frivolous young people. The most direct consequence of this is that he has no friends in school, except Suzuki-u. Yan Tai looked at Suzuki-u, asked Suzuki-u, "What about you? Do you have any recommendations?" "There is indeed one," Suzuki-u said with a smile. "I would like to recommend my roommate to participate." 3 days later. On the school playground. Yan Tai was dressed in training clothes and looked at the 7 freshmen in front of him with a serious face. These 7 new students. They are the people who participated in the freshman competition from Wushan Academy this time. Now I announce the list of freshmen who will take part in the 100 school joint entrance examination. The 5 main team members are, Fang Ye, Suzuki-u, Lu Qiangsheng, Zhao Shennan, and Zheng Bing. 2 substitutes, Zhou Dehai, Zhang Yan. Now, I'll give you 5 minutes to choose your captain. Hearing this, the other 5 people all looked at Fang Ye and Suzuki-u in unison. They all knew that the real main force this time relied on these 2 people. The captain naturally chose between them. Suzuki-u was about to speak. Unexpectedly, Fang Ye took the lead and said, "I support Suzuki-u as the captain. The captain's duty is to give orders and direct the players during the game." Fang Ye feels that with Suzuki-u's intelligence, he is qualified enough. If he is allowed to come, it's not that he has no confidence in himself. It's just that Fang Ye finds it troublesome. Hearing Fang Ye's words, Suzuki-u was a little stunned. She didn't expect that Fang Ye would actually recommend her to be the captain. Originally, she wanted to choose Fang Ye. Since Fang Ye spoke first, Suzuki-u had to hold back her words. Go back. She believed it. Fang Ye must have had his intentions in doing this. When the other team members saw that Suzuki-u was silent, they all said, "I also choose Suzuki-u to be the captain." Agree. Me too. Passed unanimously. Yan Tai said to Suzuki-u, "The captain's only responsibility is to analyze the opponent and make the most correct judgment during the game. Since everyone has chosen you to be the captain, I hope you can take on this responsibility." "Teacher, I will try my best," Suzuki-u said seriously. "Good." Yan Tai nodded and glanced at everyone. There is still half a month left before the competition. During this half month, I will teach some team competition tactics. You must remember them. The students were all listening attentively. Except for Fang Ye. Regarding Fang Ye's lazy look, Yan Tai chose to ignore it and continued. The competition will take place in a very peaceful forbidden area. This forbidden area can be entered and exited freely. When the time comes, many people will go to watch the match. Therefore, some underhanded methods must not be used. In each competition, there are 5 people from both sides, competing in a secret realm called King's Canyon. When teaming up with 5 people, it is best to choose different professions. Fang Ye, if you have the talent of fire, you can be the main attacker in the middle. Suzuki-u, your archery talent is amazing, and you are the main attacker in the bottom lane. Zhao Shennan, I remember that you added physical attributes to all the bonus attributes. You are responsible for attracting damage. Pay attention to guarding our crystals. Once the crystals are knocked out, the game will be lost. Yan Tai kept talking. And Fang Ye was completely stunned at this moment. Dimensional chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mung Garden. Chapter 78. Canyon of Kings. Our crystal? Why is this so familiar? Listening to what Yan Tai said, a scene of a competitive game automatically appeared in Fang Ye's mind. He never expected that the venue for the national freshman competition would be a place like this. At this time, Yan Tai took out a huge map and placed it in front of the students. This is the map in the Canyon of Kings, everyone, take a look. The students immediately looked at the map. When Fang Ye saw the map, the speculation in his mind immediately became a certainty. It is indeed the map in that game, exactly the same, the so-called freshman competition, the real rules, turns out to be a 5v5 competitive game. Fang Ye complained silently in his heart. Originally, with his strength, it was no problem to win the freshman competition. If a fight really breaks out, all the freshmen will be kids in front of Fang Ye. Now, I am more sure. Fang Ye can say without exaggeration that no one in the Canyon of Kings is more familiar with this game than him. In his previous life, he worked countless days and nights in order to get higher scores. I even broke a few of my cell phones. His highest rank has reached dozens of stars in the King of Glory. I can't say how powerful he is. At least there is Fang Ye's name on the national server list. Let me first introduce you to the rules. Yan Tai pointed to the 3 routes on the map and asked Fang Ye and others, have you seen these 3 routes? Each route eventually leads to the crystal on its own side. On each route, there are 3 energy towers. After the game officially begins, our first task is to destroy the energy towers on the enemy's route before we can attack the enemy's crystals. Note that the energy tower has a warning range, about 50 meters. Once the enemy enters its warning range, it will automatically attack the enemy. Everyone must be careful. The energy tower's attack damage is very high, and it has an automatic aiming function. It cannot be avoided. If you can't hold it for a few times, you will die. If you want to destroy the energy tower, the best way is to wait for your own mechanical soldiers to enter the warning range of the opponent's energy tower. At that time, the energy tower will give priority to attacking the mechanical soldiers. This is your opportunity to destroy the energy tower. In the same way, if you see the enemy's mechanical soldiers appear, you must clear them out in time to avoid the opponent stealing the tower. Suzuki had been listening carefully. When she heard this, she suddenly discovered a loophole and raised her hand. Seeing this, Yan Tai immediately asked Suzuki, "What's your problem?" "Teacher." Suzuki pointed to the energy tower on the map and said, "What if someone stands outside the energy tower's cordon and attacks? Will it destroy the energy tower? For example, I am confident that I can hit the target within a range of 200 meters. This is Suzuki's modesty. In fact, with her current strength, she can hit the target within 1,000 meters. Hearing this, Yan Tai smiled and said, "Suzuki, it's good that you can think of this. However, such loopholes will certainly not appear. When the energy tower is not attacking, it is in a state of self-protection, and there will be a layer of defensive energy on the surface. In the state of self-protection, your attacks are almost ineffective. Only when the energy tower attacks the mechanical soldiers will its protective energy disappear." Everyone immediately understood. "Do you have any questions?" No one spoke. Yan Tai continued, "In addition, you should also pay attention to the mechanical soldiers. Although they are just a group of dead objects walking according to a fixed program, if you get close to them, they will fight back. Of course, their attack speed is very slow and their power is very weak. As long as you don't stand still, you will definitely not be defeated by the mechanical soldiers. There will be mechanical soldiers on all 3 routes, so all 3 routes must be guarded. There are also some monsters in the canyon. Killing them will provide you with buffs, such as increased speed, increased attack strength, etc. However, there are 2 monsters that are very powerful, namely the Dark Tyrant and the Shadow Master. Their growth rate is also stronger, so it is best to team up to kill them. Because fighting alone has little chance of winning. In the Canyon of Kings, you must be brave and don't be afraid of sacrifice. Because even if you die, you will not really die. You will be resurrected behind the energy crystal. Of course, try not to die if you can. Every time you die, the time for resurrection will increase exponentially. When the enemy takes advantage of your death to sneak attack on the energy tower, something serious will happen. There are 3-way energy towers. It is recommended that you choose to attack all the way. During the game, there is a communicator for everyone to communicate with each other. If you encounter danger, you must call your teammates for help in time. If you encounter a well-matched opponent, kill more monsters, get buffs, and then engage in a team battle. As long as you can destroy the opponent in one wave, you can go straight to Huanglong and tear down the opponent's rear area. There is only one condition for final victory, and that is to destroy the crystal behind the enemy. Yan Tai kept explaining the rules in Canyon of Kings. Everyone else listened with great interest. There is only Fang Yi. The more he listened, the more speechless he became, and the expression on his face was very strange. He really didn't expect that the national freshman competition would be conducted in this way. He thought it was just a simple martial arts competition. Even the King Pesticide Forbidden Area is out. What about other forbidden areas? Isn't this the world I'm familiar with? Fang Ye thought while continuing to listen to Yan Tai's explanation. Slowly, he also discovered something different. For example, in the Canyon of Kings mentioned by Yan Tai, there is no need to purchase equipment, and there will be no monetary reward for killing mechanical soldiers. That is to say, what can affect the final battle between the two sides still depends on their own hard power. Think about it too. This is not a real game after all, but a forbidden area. No equipment or anything. Very normal. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dimensional Chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 79. Everyone, look at this location. Yan Tai pointed to the high ground on the map and said to everyone, this area is called the high ground. It is very important. Once your opponent invades here, it means that you are only one step away from defeat. Especially the 3 Highland energy towers must not be lost. Once they are broken through by the opponent, the next step will be your crystal. In addition, no matter which Highland energy tower is destroyed, the enemy will send super robots to join the battle group. The super robot has strong attack power and high defense. Once it appears, it will pose a greater threat. Therefore, when the Highland energy tower is attacked, you must defend and protect it. Correct. I heard that if someone obtains the Super God achievement, they will receive a mysterious skill reward from the Forbidden Land. Of course, this is just a rumor. No one has ever achieved Super God achievements, because it is too difficult to achieve Super God achievements. Not only do you need to win the championship, but you must not die once from the beginning to the end of the game. In each game, you must get more than 7 heads. Hearing this, everyone felt speechless. Such harsh conditions are indeed impossible to meet. Unless, let all participating schools cooperate with you in acting alone. This is impossible to achieve. Only Fang Ye's eyes lit up. The achievement of super gods is indeed demanding, and for others, it is almost an impossible task. But Fang Ye is different. With his current strength, he still has a chance. I just don't know, what skills are the rewards for obtaining super god achievements. There are only so many specific competition rules. Is there anything else you would like to ask? Yan Tai asked. Everyone shook their heads. Yan Tai said, okay, next, I will tell you some common tactics. If you have time, you can also go online to find relevant information and competition videos. Although, this competition mainly depends on everyone's own strength. However, this does not mean that tactics are not important. On the contrary, if the tactics are used properly, even if the overall strength is weaker than the opponent, there is still a chance of comeback. Especially when encountering well-matched opponents, tactics become the key factor in determining victory or defeat. The students were listening carefully, including Fang Ye. He is now very interested in the freshman competition. I want to know what tactics people in this world have developed. The most common tactic is the single push tactic. This is also the most common tactic. Single push tactic, 5 people are divided into 3 groups, 2 groups are mainly defensive, and the remaining group is responsible for offense. Under normal circumstances, the strongest one among you needs to be responsible for the offensive group. Yan Tai said as he glanced at Fang Ye. The other students also looked at Fang Ye subconsciously. There was nothing we could do. Among the freshmen of Wushan Academy this year, the strongest one in everyone's mind is Fang Ye. Yan Tai continued, you only need to send one person to guard the 2 defensive lanes. Allocate the remaining team members to the offensive lane, concentrate your strength, and push them all the way. Of course, this tactic tests one's combat prowess and can easily be targeted. As long as the other party sends 2 people to hold back your main force, then your remaining 2 groups will be very dangerous. The following days, just spent in various training and listening to classes. In the blink of an eye, half a month passed. Preparations for the national freshman competition have begun in full swing. Inside the school, banners and slogans have long been hung up to aspire to be among the top 10. Many students were entertained. Major media also began to build momentum. The internet is full of news about the 100 schools joint entrance examination, and some self-media are predicting which team will be the champion this year. What surprised Fang Ye was that there was a betting website where you could bet on which team would win. This is a blatant gamble. Doesn't the government care? At this time, Fang Ye was sitting on the bus heading to the airport. Next to him were other students who were going to compete this time, as well as several teachers. The dean of students personally led the team, and Yan Tai was among them. They had to go to the airport first, then take a plane to Shanghai. That peaceful forbidden land is in Shanghai. Fang Ye, what are you looking at? Suzuki sat next to Fang Ye and asked in a low voice. Fang Ye said with a smile, someone turned this competition into a gambling website, where you can bet on winning or losing. Is there a school for us? Have. The odds are still very high. As long as you win, the odds of the first game will be as high as 5 times. Speaking of this, Fang Ye's heart moved. He was thinking, should he try it himself? After all, as long as he is here, this is a sure profit, and who would think it's too much money? And it seems that this website is quite formal, so it shouldn't be a default on your account. When Fang Ye and others arrived in Shanghai, it was already 7 o'clock in the evening. After leaving the airport, everyone went straight to the hotel. Tomorrow is the official competition day. I must go to bed early tonight to recuperate my energy. I can't go out to play. Welcome some distinguished guests. At the entrance of the hotel, there was a special receptionist or a few of them contestants from Wushan Academy. Please register here, and then go back to your room to put your luggage first. Dinner is prepared for you on the 3rd floor of the hotel. Everyone registered their names one after another, then took the room card, found their respective rooms, and then gathered on the 3rd floor. At this time, a large number of students gathered in the restaurant on the 3rd floor, which was very lively. The students were wearing the school uniforms are also different. There are blue uniforms, purple uniforms, and red uniforms. Fang Ye and the others are wearing blue and white uniforms. In addition to students, there are many teachers who are also here. Dinner together. Thanks to the hotel's restaurant being big enough, otherwise it really wouldn't be able to accommodate so many people. Dinner in this hotel is a buffet style. Yan Tai stood in front of everyone and said the meal is over there. You can get what you want to eat. I'm right here. When you are full, come and gather together and go back to the room together. Everyone nodded and walked towards the meal pickup point. The dinner was very rich, including fish, meat and seafood. There were more than a dozen chefs who were busy preparing dishes for the guests. Fang Ye, try this shrimp. I just had it. It tastes very good. Suzuki came to Fanya quietly. Fanya nodded with a smile, then picked up a few shrimps and put them on his plate. Suzuki gave Fanya another piece of beef and said with a smile, "You eat more, because in tomorrow's game, you will definitely be the main force of our team." Fanya didn't refuse. Just as he was about to say something, a voice suddenly came from behind him. "Cousin." Suzuki immediately turned around after hearing this and saw a girl wearing a purple school uniform, and she suddenly showed a surprised look. "Haitang, are you here too?" "Yes, you have integrated Hell Fubuki's talent. This talent has great potential, and your school must let you come." So Haitang's pretty face suddenly showed a bit of embarrassment, but she pretended to be humble and said, "Sister, I can't compare with you. I've heard that you got super in the number 2 and number 3 forbidden areas. The high evaluation, especially the forbidden area number 3, actually received the highest mission evaluation, which is really amazing. You little girl, when did you learn to compliment others?" Suzuki said with a smile. It can be seen that she has a very good relationship with this cousin. "By the way, cousin," Suhaitang suddenly said mysteriously, "I heard that you refused the marriage arranged by your second mother for you. I also heard that you found a boyfriend at school. Where is your boyfriend? Let me meet my future brother-in-law." Hearing this, Suzuki's pretty face turned red all of a sudden. Even the roots of her ears were red and hot. Because Fanya was beside her. Although in the forbidden area number 3, the relationship between the two had gone through stages. She has made progress, but has not yet broken through the window paper. She has been waiting for Fanya to officially announce their relationship. At this moment, Suhaitang said it to her face. Suzuki felt too embarrassed. Dimensional chosen, only I know Saitama is the strongest. Author, Mungbean Garden. Chapter 80. Freeze said. Suzuki scolded her sister in a low voice. Seeing the confused look on Suhaitang's face, as if he wanted to ask something, Suzuki said first, "Come on, Haitang, let me introduce you, this is my classmate, Fanya. The record of 2 highest mission evaluations is held by him." Hearing this, Suhaitang's eyes suddenly lit up and he looked at Fanya in surprise. "Ah, I've heard about you and you're amazing. But..." Speaking of the latter part, Suhaitang asked doubtfully, "The internet said that you are qualified for the C-level hero talent. Why did you choose the useless C-level hero?" This was a bit like exposing one's shortcomings in person. Of course, Suhaitang didn't mean it. To put it mildly, this girl is straight-tempered and says whatever comes to mind. To put it mildly, she is a brainless person. "Stop talking nonsense." Suzuki pulled her cousin and said to Fanya, "I'm sorry, Fanya, this is my cousin, she is a few months younger than me. That's her personality. She can't speak without thinking. It doesn't matter." Fanya looked at Suhaitang with a smile. "Hello, nice to meet you." Suhaitang also realized at this time that there was something wrong with the question he just asked. Seeing that Fanya was not angry, he smiled and said, "I'm glad to meet you too. You are quite a nice person." Speaking of this, Suhaitang seemed to have thought of something, pulled Suzuki's sleeve, and whispered in Suzuki's ear. "Sister. Is he your boyfriend?" Suzuki glared at her cousin. At this time, a sunny and handsome young man walked over from the side. "Haitang, I asked why I can't see you, but it turns out you are here." The young man had a smile on his face. As he spoke, he approached a few people. When he saw Suzuki's appearance, his expression was slightly startled. The stunning look in his eyes disappeared in a flash, and he quickly returned to normal. "Are these two your friends?" The young man showed a bright smile, looked at Suzuki, and proactively introduced himself. "Hello, I am Suhaitang's monitor." As he said that, he reached out to Suzuki, as if he wanted to shake hands. Suzuki frowned slightly, but did not shake hands. The first feeling this young man gave her was very bad. Just when I was thinking about how to deal with it, a hand suddenly stretched out and held the young man's hand. "Hello, we are from Wushan Academy." The one who spoke was naturally Fang Ye. Although Fang Ye had not officially expressed his stance towards Suzuki was still considered his. This fat-haired and pink-faced guy actually wanted to take advantage of Suzuki in front of him. Fang Ye was sure can't do it and watch. Martial Saint Academy. When he heard the name of this school, the young man was slightly startled. If he remembered correctly, this should be Pheasant University. How could Su Haitang know a student from Wushan College? The young man was not a fool. He quickly saw the difference. It means karma. This is deliberately not giving him a chance to shake hands with the beautiful woman. Thinking of this, the young man sneered in his heart. He felt that the trash of Wushan Academy in front of him should be the suitor of the beautiful woman, so he would interfere with her. One stick. Thinking of this, the young man immediately smiled and said, "It turns out he is a top student from Wushan Academy, disrespectful." As he said that, his palms began to exert force and pinched Fang Ye hard. If he ruined his good deeds, he would make Fang Ye embarrassed in front of the beautiful woman. Feeling the weak force from his palms, Fang Ye gave a slight sigh. Stunned, he quickly understood what this young man was thinking. "Oh! How dare you compete with him?" Fang Ye laughed. He was willing to shake hands with the young man. Although his original intention was to rescue Suzuki, it was also a step down for the other party to avoid. The other party was embarrassed. Unexpectedly. This kid was not only ungrateful, but also hostile to him. Want him to make a fool of himself? In that case, let's see who made the fool of himself. Thinking of this, Fang Ye began to mobilize his own power. If he is serious, if you take action, you can crush this kid's palm into pulp in an instant. At first, there was still a smile on the young man's face. His current strength attribute is close to 120 points. I believe he will definitely make the pretty boy in front of him suffer. But slowly, the smile on the young man's face disappeared. No matter how hard he tried, the pretty face in front of him and his palms did not change at all. Not only that, the young man also felt that the power in the opponent's palm was getting stronger and stronger, and he was almost unable to hold on. It's going to be bad. The young man's heart sank and he wanted to withdraw his hand. As a result, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't break free from Fang Ye's grasp. Since this kid wants Fang Ye to make a fool of himself, Fang Ye will certainly not let him go easily. Click. Click. The sound of bones dislocating came from the young man's palm. He gritted his teeth and his face turned red. Soon, huge pain came, making him unable to bear it any longer. "Ah! Let go." The young man's face was full of pain, and he couldn't help but scream. His scream was loud and attracted the attention of many people around him. Seeing countless eyes looking at him in surprise, the young man's face turned red and he wished he could find a crack in the ground and crawl in. It was only at this moment that Fang Ye let go of his hand. In the current situation, it is not suitable to make too much trouble, which will bring trouble to his companions. If it were in private, this young man's hand would definitely want to be crippled. Even so, at this moment, the young man's palm has been deformed. He looked at Fang Ye with malicious eyes, wishing to kill Fang Ye. "What are you two doing?" Su Haitang, who was naturally stunned, realized what had just happened. Fang Ye smiled faintly. "This man, you just wanted to test my strength, but I didn't expect that I used too much force. Are you okay?" The young man stared at Fang Ye and gritted his teeth and said, "Martial Saint Academy, very good, I remember you." After leaving these words, he looked at Su Haitang again and said, "Teacher, if you want to see us for something, come with me." "Okay." Su Haitang, who looked confused, followed the young man and left. After the two left, Suzuki looked at Fangye with a smile in his eyes. She felt that Fangye was jealous just now. Why are you looking at me like that? Fangye asked with a puzzled face. Are there flowers on my face? Suzuki smiled and replied, no, I just thought you were cute just now. Fangye sweated and said, isn't it a bad idea to describe a man as cute? After hearing this, Suzuki smiled even more happily. But soon, the smile on her face disappeared again, and she frowned and said, Fangye, I don't think Haetang's squad leader is a good person. I'm afraid of Haetang. If you get too close to him, you will suffer losses in the future. Suzuki Binksu is smart. She clearly saw what happened just now. It was obvious that it was the young man who wanted to take advantage of her. He angered Fangye and wanted to make Fangye embarrassed. In the end, he was taught a lesson by Fangye and made a fool of himself. Such a person is full of dirty thoughts, but his heart is still very dark. With Su Haetang's simple temperament, if he really gets too close to such a person, he will definitely suffer a big loss. What to do? She is just your cousin. Even if you can control her for a while, you cannot control her forever, Fangye said. Hearing this, Suzuki also looked helpless. As Fangye said, she was not qualified to care who Su Haetang made friends with. Now she can only look at Su Haetang's own fate. The two of them had a full meal. Return to Yantai. Fangye noticed that Yantai looked depressed, showing his unhappiness on his face. What happened to Lao Yan? Fangye asked a classmate next to him who messed with him. After half a month of training, he and several classmates are familiar with each other. Zheng Bing whispered, it's the instructor Wang Liang from Wushan Academy. He is also here. After Lao Yan saw that person, very unhappy. Fangye was surprised when he heard this. He didn't expect that Wang Liang hadn't been expelled from Martial Arts Academy yet. Such a big thing happened last time and so many geniuses died, but this guy could still stay in the tutor team of Martial Arts Academy. I have to say, this guy does have some skills. Are you all full? Yantai asked. Everyone nodded. Well, let's all go back to our rooms and rest. Tomorrow is the day of the game. Don't go out to play tonight. After the game is over, the school will give you a few days off. Then you can relax.